It is not the fucking manufacturing jobs that people desire. It's well-paid jobs that people desire. It's benefits that people desire. They don't give a fuck if you're working in a factory or a goddamn Starbucks barista. It's about how much money you make in the process. It's about being able to own a home. It's about being able to have upward social mobility for your fucking children. It's about an upward trajectory for the American working class. It's about being able to go to college for free. It's about being able to have healthcare for free. These are the things that people desire, not some fucking fantasy about sewing socks in a goddamn moldy ass fucking factory for 35 cents. That's not the dream. Holy, that is so crazy. Dude, I'm closing my eyes and imagining the reverse situation where it's like socialist leadership has overtaken the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party is now the Democratic People's Labor Party. Okay, the Democratic People's Labor Party. We have workers' councils. The party is demonstrating utmost loyalty to the leader because they recognize his revolutionary vision. The leader says, "Listen, the economy is going to have a brief moment, a brief period of instability, but ultimately we will decouple America from the treacherous grips of capital piece by piece. We will rebuild this country in the vision of revolutionary figures that came before us. We are going to no longer have a dictatorship of the few, the dictatorship of capital and capital owners, but instead a dictatorship of the American population." And all of the party leadership is in unison saying this. Okay, they're like, "No, you must trust the vision. You must trust the process. We are rebuilding the American infrastructure after far too many years of instability, far too many years of being servile to the parasitic nature of the capital class. We are going to do it." I'm just closing my eyes and imagining, like, it's not Trump doing this, but it's actually a socialist vision. It feels good.
Recession.
Donald Trump should immediately reverse his...
It's funny to think, oh God, here it is. Here's Chuck Schumer right after I said that. It's funny to think that, like, any kind of anti-capitalist initiative, any kind of socialization would unironically lead to market instability, okay, in the short term, because the system relies on profits being maximized every quarter. So even if they weren't doing a full-blown socialist revolution or something, even if it was like a Bernie-style social democrat, even if they're socialists, but they're a democratic socialist, so they're presenting themselves as a social democrat in the interim. And one of the many things that Bernie Sanders would do is, like, I don't know, socialize the healthcare system, right? Implement Medicare for all. There would be a lot of market instability. People would be screaming bloody murder on television day in, day out. But this kind of defense of the leadership would be an absolute necessity at that time. But that would never happen. I feel like everything that's happening is something you agree with, but because it's Trump, you don't like it. Are you fucking stupid? Wait, what? Socialism is a joke. It's not real. That's literally what's happening. I'm confused. Who wouldn't want this? I feel like everything that's happening is something you agree with, but because it's Trump, you don't like it. Yeah, dude. I don't actually want socialism. I just want rich people's stock portfolio to dip a little bit in the short term as they fucking recover and consolidate wealth further as the working poor get shafted. Who needs socialism? My anger and resentment was directly towards rich people like fucking Barstool's very own Dave Porkboy losing $10 million of value for the first week and then recovering in spectacular fashion. That's what I wanted. Yeah, my eyes are not on the prize of uplifting all working class individuals around the world and certainly in the United States of America. It's not about that at all. It's just like fucking over the rich for a brief period of instability as the working class loses their fucking jobs in a period of stagnation, in a period of mass layoffs and an affordability crisis like nothing you've ever seen before. What do you mean? The reason why I don't like the things that are happening right now is because they're stupid. There's no better way to describe it than that word. I know it sounds reductive, but The reality is that's how Trump moves. He moves stupid like. He moves in a stupid fashion. You can't do trade protectionism if there's no trade to protect at the domestic front. You can't break something before building the underlying basis for why you are breaking the global trade agreements. It's idiotic. That's why even people like Bernie Sanders, who were opponents of NAFTA and were long-standing defenders of American manufacturing and stood proudly against free trade, are literally also saying the same thing, where they're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? This is so dumb. The strats are about shafting those profiting from taking advantage of consumers who are the workers to begin with. What are you saying, dude? You're so fucking stupid. Every goddamn MAGA supporter is just too dumb to have a conversation with. Yeah, dude, you know who was shafting the American working class? Not the capital owners, but fucking third world slaves, dude. The Indonesian cotton mill worker was the one who was fucking you over. You absolute moron. You fucking baboon. How can I have a normal conversation with you when you go, you know who's really fucking the American working class? Not the American capital owners that willingly, voluntarily, and excitedly moved manufacturing overseas so that we could fucking literally use and abuse the third world, the global south. But it's actually the fucking Bangladeshi worker himself. That's who fucked me over. You are the biggest delusional moron of all time. Holy fuck. I can't have a normal conversation with you because you're too stupid to have a conversation with. What am I supposed to say to this? Oh my God. Jesus Christ, dude. Your disgusting, fat Ameripig ass was able to get affordable treats in perpetuity at the backs of slave labor. That's what we did. That's the global marketplace. That's quite literally what happened in perpetuity. And now Trump's like, actually, that's not good. We have to enslave our own domestic labor force, I guess, or whatever the fuck they're planning to do, because no one knows what they're planning to do, because what these decisions they're making are so stupid because there's no underlying manufacturing base to actually improve, to actually do any sort of output that will be competitive with the global trade scheme that we have designed, that once again has enslaved the global south so that you can eat a $5 jalapeno popper, you fat fuck. Correct. It's the decision makers. Fuck the corporate decision makers and capital class, like you said. That's not. Trump is a fucking real estate billionaire. His entire administration is filled to the brim with parasitic monsters. Are you fucking that stupid that you think he's not working at the behest of capitalists? Are you fucking dumb? The idea is to make it competitive. How? Do you have a factory that I was oblivious to? Is there a factory in your backyard? Have you already hired and trained tens of thousands of fucking workers? Is that what's going to happen? Are you going to ensure that they have their collective bargaining rights? Because Donald Trump just undermined the collective bargaining rights of 1.5 million federal workers just last week. It is not the fucking manufacturing jobs that people desire. It's well-paid jobs that people desire. It's benefits that people desire. They don't give a fuck if you're working in a factory or a goddamn Starbucks barista. It's about how much money you make in the process. It's about being able to own a home. It's about being able to have upward social mobility for your fucking children. It's about an upward trajectory for the American working class. It's about being able to go to college for free. It's about being able to have healthcare for free. These are the things that people desire, not some fucking fantasy about sewing socks in a goddamn moldy ass fucking factory for 35 cents. That's not the dream. It doesn't matter what the manufacturing or the services that you offer are. That does not matter. That is completely irrelevant to this conversation. People are not like, oh, there's a lot of honesty and a lot of work in getting black lung at the fucking coal mine. No, it's because those are supposed to be the good paying jobs. The fantasy of going back to the 1965 standard of being able to have a single fucking a family with two parents, okay, a two-parent household where only one parent works, And that's enough to get by. That's enough for you to get a house. That's enough for you to get a car. That's enough for you to have 2, 3 children. Okay, that's enough for you to take some time off work, go fucking travel elsewhere. I don't know, go to Galveston, Texas, or where the fuck you're gonna go to meet your inbred cousins. Okay, that's the dream. The dream isn't to just simply work in a factory and then things will fucking fix themselves. That's not how it goes. You're not gonna work in a factory, you lazy piece of shit. Shut the fuck up. There are empty factories everywhere and people want to work. Remember how base Detroit used to be? Oh my God. Oh my God. There are empty factories everywhere. I didn't realize that you could just restart manufacturing in a fucking factory that has been accruing dust for 3 decades. I didn't realize. How did I not think of that? There are so many empty factories. Because it's that simple. You just go back to the empty factory and you're like, okay, empty factory no more. What are you saying? These are dilapidated buildings these are dilapidated buildings collecting dust. You can't just restart industry like that. Oh my God. Thank you for saying I'm hot. But it makes me so mad when people make these stupid ass decisions, these stupid ass statements. You can't just, you think I haven't factored these things into my argument, by the way? This is what I've been talking about for the past year at this point, since Donald Trump started talking about these tariff initiatives. Industry is being industrious, you know? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. These people unironically think they could just like manifest like The Secret, a robust manufacturing hub here in the United States of America after literal multiple decades. This is before we even factor in automation and what that has done to global manufacturing in general, in terms of the labor force and the labor participation in manufacturing across the board. You don't know anything. How am I supposed to have a conversation with you? The worst part about it is the closest that we've ever arrived at like rebuilding American manufacturing is unironically still stunted because it's stunted by the lack of vision inside of the neat little confines of neoliberalism. The closest we arrived at rebuilding manufacturing in this country was not Donald Trump's tariffs initiative. It was actually Joe Biden with his fucking CHIPS Act. And the irony there is it's once again another fucking failure because it does not meet the necessity of the time to actually rebuild a robust infrastructure to make America a manufacturing hub of the fucking planet, because it's still stunted by the private-public partnership that the government holds on to because they're fucking capitalist morons. Oh my God. I've said this already. Even if the United States of America actually was serious and all of a sudden got hit with the fucking Marxist-Leninist beam, okay? And every single one of our leaders was like, we need to do central planning, Chinese style, okay? It would still take at least a fucking decade to build this robust hub of industry. You can't just like close your eyes and wish that there's a factory that you can use. That's not how this works. It takes years and years to build. It takes years and years of training too. That is also before we factor in the obvious issues. The obvious issues that is, there are already a fuck ton of jobs, and jobs are fake to begin with. Just make fake jobs. Who gives a fuck? Okay? But there's already existing jobs. The problem is not that Americans don't have jobs. 23% underemployment in this country is fucking criminal. It's that all the jobs that are available are fucking shit. They're gig economy jobs. They don't offer you steady pay. It's unsustainable. The issue is wealth disparity. The issue is that the existing jobs that we have do not allow us to be able to pay for rent, do not allow us to overcome the fear that if you lose said job, you are not going to be able to pay for your health care. God forbid something horrible happens. These are the real issues. It's not about some fucking fantasy about being able to rebuild factories, because what good would that do if there is no labor power and no union participation in this process? So the jobs that are readily available are still offering you fucking $7 an hour to go sew socks at a goddamn factory. You're fucked. You're fucked in that process. The problem still persists. You still can't pay your fucking landlord. You still can't pay for health care. Everything is so goddamn expensive now because it's being made in the United States of America. It sucks. Neoliberalism sucks, but we're talking about global markets and the mechanics they go off of. You're not wrong about the challenges. No, of course I'm not wrong about the challenges. You're just responding to the stock market, responding to the instability and going, but that's a good thing because rich people get fucked over in the short term. But they don't. They don't get fucked over. Wealth is relative, okay? They get fucked over and they lose a big chunk of their wealth. But you losing $10,000 is infinitely more consequential than Aiden Ross losing $10 million. Do you understand? You losing $10,000 to $35,000 from your 401k is infinitely more consequential to your life because it adds additional years to your fucking retirement plan where you won't be able to retire at 65, 66, let alone 68. Whereas Aiden Ross can retire tomorrow. It doesn't matter if he fucking loses $10 million or not today. He's going to make that up tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Breaking. Oil prices fall below 57 for the first time since February 2021 as markets pricing a global recession. Great. Now oil prices are going down at least, so that's good. Yeah, why is it going down? Because they know demand is going to go down. That's the reason. Hasan, I need this clip because as a labor organizer, you'd be shocked at how many rank and file dipshits actually believe what this guy is saying word for word. I mean, look, things are so dire that I understand why a shakeup. That's the reason why they voted for Trump, okay? That's the reason why so many rank and file labor union members voted for Donald Trump. Because they're like, this system that has been designed has fucked me over in perpetuity. So let's break it. After all, if we break it, the alternative can't be as bad as what I've experienced thus far. The irony, of course, is that Trump is not breaking it and then rebuilding it so that it's a little bit better for you. Trump is just simply breaking it and making it worse for you overall. That's the sad state of affairs. And I think because there is no counterbalance, because there's no rudder, there is no moral compass, there is no guidance from any sort of like alternative vision of how to rebuild society, because the alternative vision is, like I said, neoliberalism from the Democratic Party, who also want to unleash the markets, the freer the markets, the freer the people. Because of that, people are just going to be even more resentful, even more volatile. And the things that they will grab onto is even more reactionary sentiment. Perhaps we haven't killed enough trans people or Guatemalan people that it still feels like shit sucks. That's what's going to happen. This is why not having an effective counterbalance is incredibly fucking dangerous. Not having effective counter messaging is incredibly fucking dangerous in an unstable, treat-the-right society like the United States of America, where everybody's got fucking guns. And the moment that you take their burgers away, they will use those guns. Yeah. Don't worry. The price of oil barrels will go back up. Trust me. When Donald Trump tries to fucking, I don't know, do a land invasion in Yemen, and then Iran and Yemen retaliate by lighting oil refineries in Saudi Arabia on fire, all of a sudden the supply of oil will go down, and yet demand will stay stable, and boom, prices skyrocket for oil again. Okay? Just wait. We're literally not even, we're in the beginning baby steps of the Trump shakeup, the liberation. And then meanwhile, roads in many countries aren't wide enough for Ford F-150s. Non-trade tariff barrier right there. I've been saying this for so long. I've been saying it nonstop. God damn, dude. Holy shit.